5:06 on this Tuesday that kind of feels like a Monday. Hopefully you got yesterday off. We are going to go into the BA breakdown now with Broken Arrow's city manager, Michael Spurgeon. Michael, did you get to enjoy the holiday?
I certainly did, but you're absolutely right about this Tuesday feeling like a Monday.
Yeah.
With everything that's going on, especially when it's city council meeting night. So there's been a lot happening and for the short week, but we're looking forward to another great meeting, talking about some wonderful things going on in our community, and just always enjoy city council meetings. Just moving things forward in our community is very, very important.
Michael, I got to tell you, I'm a little frustrated. I didn't know about this. I was just reading about vandalism down at Ray Harral Nature Park. I love to go hiking over there, but admittedly, it's probably been close to a year since we went. I didn't know there were these cool new markers down there because I got a little turned around in there a time or two, but I guess they had some new markers to help with that, and they were vandalized. What happened?
Well, the story's going to start off with a little bit negative, but I can tell you it's got a positive ending, and that is a local Eagle Scout group here in the community recently installed some new markers out at the park. And if you haven't been out to Ray Harral, I'm going to put a plug in for Ray Harral Nature Center in the park. You couldn't find a better place to walk trails. I mean, to me, Turkey Mountain's a great place to walk, but if I can't walk there, I like to walk at Ray Harral. And unfortunately, we had these posts that were put in by this local Eagle Scout group, and within a month or so, they were actually pulled up and they were strewn all over the trail. And our folks were just devastated about what happened. And so we made a post on social media, and the response from the community, and this just tells you who Broken Arrow is, the response from the community was absolutely overwhelming. We got response to the post messages, private messages, and we've actually had citizens come out that want to be willing to help us reinstall those posts. So the story didn't start off very well, but I just couldn't be prouder with the response that we got from our community about making a wrong right. So I just want to thank you to all the Broken Arrow community that have reached out.
Well, I hate that happened. That's frustrating, but I'm glad it turned out that way. And you can count me in if you need any help. I'll come down there, and I'm not too far down the road, so happy to do that. Something else that's really cool about Broken Arrow, a couple of years in to having become the new venue for Scotfest, which is coming up this month. What do you know? Kind of what we can expect for Scotfest this year?
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. The actual event itself is going to be held September 16th through the 18th here in Broken Arrow at our events park, which is located out on the east part of our city by the NSU Broken Arrow campus, right by the Creek Turnpike. Here's an interesting fact is that right now, as I understand that there's about 67,000 plus Oklahomans that have some Scottish or Irish ancestry, Skyler. So this event is huge, and so it's going to be I think basically the third year that Broken Arrow's had it. I'm sorry, and it is an authentic celebration that is modeled after events in Scotland that are over 200 years old, and you're just going to have all the traditional dancing. You're going to have the vendors and all the different events that just celebrate the Irish and Celtic history that we have within our community. And I'll tell you, if you haven't been out, you need to, because it's an amazing event, and we're so proud to have it.
That sounds fun. I have not, so I will make sure to make a point and be there this year. I hope to see you there. Right afterward, though, just kind of an important update for folks, which appreciate the good timing here. I'm sure this was no accident that after Scotfest is when some road work will happen right there in front of the events park. What's going on with the road?
Well, actually, the city council last month awarded a contract for several $1 million to a contractor actually to widen that road at the events park. We're actually going to be widening it's known as East New Orleans Street. We're going to be widening it from 209th to 215th. We worked a partnership with Widener County Commissioners to where we would take the entire road. They actually owned the south lane, and we owned the north lane, and we've actually switched a couple projects where now there's a bridge that they own that they will maintain, and the city has the road. And so right after Scotfest is finished, that road's in pretty bad condition, and we're excited about the fact that this probably about $2.5 million project, we're going to be widening that road to 3 and 4 lanes depending on where you're actually on the road. But we couldn't be more excited. We waited till after Scotfest because we anticipate tens of thousands of people are going to come out, if not more, over the weekend. And so right after they actually clean up from Scotfest, the contractor is going to come in and they will actually begin the preliminary work for the construction. So we're excited about that. It's just another improvement that the voters in Broken Arrow approved. It's been a long time coming. We've taken a lot of criticism about the condition of that road, and sometimes it just takes time to get the funding together. So I'm excited the voters approved it in the 2018 bond package, and we're going to be starting work in just a couple of weeks.
While we're talking about improvements and roads and things, I took a stroll this morning, a drive on my way to work down to Aspen and the Creek Turnpike, where that new resource and that whole thing is going to be. I know we had talked about that some time ago. It's my understanding that we're getting closer to that happening. So first question, I drove down that road for the first time, and there's a little circle drive at the end of it. Is that a temporary pavement job, or that would be changed over time, right?
Well, actually, once we finish the development out there, they'll put the top lift of asphalt on the road, and because the construction will start very soon, which I can talk about just in a second if you've got some questions about that. We actually don't finish the top course of the asphalt because all the construction that's going to be happening. But once that work is finished, we'll come in and we will finalize that road. But yes, that's going to be a road that we're going to come back in and do some work on. So it doesn't get torn up as a part of all the work that's going to be done by all the developers when they start building their businesses. That
makes sense. I did see some interaction on the City of Broken Arrow Facebook page about what the progress is and everything there. So we do know about Reesers. Last time we spoke about this, you were kind of hinting at some other big ones coming in. What is the update on that whole project?
Well, I'm excited to let the community know is that the developer that's actually going to be building the resource has applied for an earth change permit for the grocery store and is completing their bid process for the dirt work. And as we all know, is that you have to build the facility from the ground up, and so the dirt work is the first part of the development process. And based on what I'm hearing from the developer is that they should have their bids and received, and they should have a contract awarded. And dirt work should begin sometime in the October-November timeframe for the preparation of the store, which means as soon as you start to see dirt work happening on the site, that means it's not too far behind is going to be the steel going up for the building, we're so excited about the fact that this will be the first. And I fully anticipate that once I know that the developer has awarded the contract, we're going to ask the developer as well as the folks from Reesers and maybe a couple of the other national chains that have decided to locate there. We may have some type of press conference to make an announcement. A lot of folks want to wait till actually the dirt work starts so they can announce the business is going to come there. But I can assure you that all Broken Arrow, more specifically those that live in the South Broken Arrow, are going to be very happy when we start making announcements about the type of retail commercial that's going to be there. Plus, there's going to be the apartment complex, and we're also starting our initiative to work on the innovation district to design what we like that to be and the envision we have for what that could be as a part of this. And so I can tell you that area is going to be extremely busy starting later this year.
Sounds exciting. Michael Spurgeon, the Broken Arrow City Manager. This is the BA Breakdown. You can hear it again on our app, krmg.com, as well, and our podcast.
Just because our